Hello, hi friends. I'm Shauna and I'm with Lara.
Hi, I'm Lara. Lara likes mascara.
I think if you've been on my channel, you probably have been on hers as well. Today, we're doing a little bit of a collab video. I mean, obviously she's sitting beside me.
Obviously, this is a different setup for you.
We're in Lara's space.
Shauna has abilities with her camera that I do not have with this one, such as flip out screen. So we're hoping everything looks great, but we'll see after.
Yeah, we're crossing our fingers, but it's still a fun experience.
Yeah.
Today, we are bringing you a tag video, kind of old school YouTube, kicking it back, and we're doing like a no-buy, low-buy tag. We have 16 questions that hopefully we'll get through. I want to say in around half an hour, but who knows?
Yeah, fingers crossed. Yeah, we just made up a tag video. Like, should we tag people at the end?
I think we should.
Yeah.
Because I think it would be cool if other people did it. And I just think that I love content that's free for people to do. But I like conversations that happen with tag videos, like the content creator confessions tag.
Yeah, we both recently did this one tag. I think it was like, I don't know, maybe 2 months ago. And I was also partially inspired by the Project Pan tag, which was like many years ago, which I also did, but that's way far back on my channel. So, yeah, we should probably just get right into it because we're already losing time.
Yeah, okay, so we are gonna set a timer. I'm only saying that because you may hear it.
We each have 1 minute to answer each question, so let's see how we do.
Question number 1 is, how long have you been on a no-buy for?
Officially, since the beginning of 2019. I don't really know if I would call what I'm on right now a no-buy, but that is when I started on this journey. So it's been like, what is that, like 3.5 years now? 2019, 2020, 21, 20, yeah, 3.5 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
Okay, for me, I've only ever officially been on a no-buy for a year. But there have been little sections of my life where it's been 4 months here, 3 months there. I would say now I'm on a low buy and not a no buy. I would say I'm coming off of a short term no buy, but I think since 2020, since starting my channel, I've been on one thing or the other.
Yeah, same since like the beginning of this channel. Well, of this phase of this channel, I've always been on no buy / low buy.
Okay, question 2. What prompted you to decide to go on a low buy? And did you have a last straw moment?
So what made me learn about no buys in the first place was, I talked about her before, Whitney Hedrick. She's here on YouTube and she's a beauty guru. I think she got very disillusioned with the beauty community / the makeup industry. And so she went on a no buy and she documented her whole channel on YouTube. And that was the first time that it occurred to me that you could just stop buying makeup. You could choose to opt out. Yeah, I don't think there was a last straw moment. It wasn't ever oh my god, I have too much stuff or I'm spending too much money on this. Although once I was on the no buy, then I realized how much stuff I had, but by that point I had already decided, to go on that journey.
So did you find her channel in 2019?
Yeah. 2019.
You went on one a year earlier than me, but I first heard about a no buy from Kelly Gooch when she did a month-long no buy, and I thought at the time this might have been 2017 or 18.
Oh wow.
Where I was wow, that's revolutionary, but it was a month. And then I eventually heard about somebody going on a year-long no buy, and then I saw Hannah Louise Poston do hers in 2019, I think. And my last straw moment was being completely freaked out about the fact that I was oh, I could never do that. I could never not buy stuff for a year. That felt so outrageous to me. To be oh, I actually can't go a year without buying something. Maybe not a last straw moment, but I think maybe more one mentally. Mm-hmm. And then when I thought about going on a no buy, I then got so stressed out that I panic bought stuff. And then it was okay, this is all happening in this. Okay.
Are we gonna hear this strictly, or is it the cutoff?
I'm
I don't know.
I mean, I'm at the end of that sentence. I was just right at the end, and I'm okay, now's the time. I mean,
Next question. That was the first alarm.
But see, I'm more of the talker than you are. I get carried away. Okay, number 3. What did you hope to get out of your no buy, and do you feel you achieved this goal?
Yeah, so I think for me it wasn't even just about the like wanting to stop buying stuff. It was more like I realized that my collection was too big. Like it was less of a shopping addiction and more of a this is too much stuff for me. Because then in 2019 I read like Marie Kondo's book on decluttering, and I sort of got into this more minimalist mindset, but I wasn't able to actually be a minimalist in any capacity because I had so much stuff, but I didn't want to just like get rid of it. I wanted to actually work my way through it. Well, my goal was to have a smaller collection, and I definitely have a smaller collection now. So yeah, I would say I achieved it.
Goal accomplished. Again, I think we're different. I came from the shopping addiction side of things, and I did not consider the quantity of stuff that I owned. I was just more of like, oh wow, I'm spending so much money, so much time. Why can I not stop buying things? And eventually, once I got into my no buy, I realized, oh, there's so many other portions to, or so many other aspects of being on a no buy other than just financial. And eventually the quantity of stuff became overwhelming, that became a much bigger part of things after a while. And so I think in a way I was successful in, or achieved my goal about what I thought that I wanted or what I expected my no buy to be like. But I do think that my vision of it changed a lot from start to finish.
Nice. Under a minute.
Ooh, have you ever seen me more concise? Number 4, do or did... Okay, I'm just going to talk in past tense. Did your friends or family know about your no buy? Why did or didn't you decide to tell them? And what was their reaction if they did? If they told them?
I don't think this was like a big thing in my life. I think I told my mom because she was the one who was always like you have so much makeup. Why are you always buying more makeup? I don't understand. But for my friends, I don't think it ever came up because my friends are into maybe not into makeup. Like my friends wear makeup. They're just not as into makeup as I am. So I don't feel like this is something that ever came up. I think they only found out because of like my YouTube channel. So yeah, it wasn't really a big thing that I talked to other people about.
Did you, was it because you were hiding it or because there wasn't an interest?
I don't think I was hiding it. I don't think there was an interest, or I expected they were not be interested.
Did you ever tell your partner?
Yeah. More about the Project Pan stuff, because now I'm always like, every single thing needs to be Project Panned, which annoys him to no end. And that's all.
For me, so the only person I told was my partner, and he was trying to get me on YouTube for a long time because I said that I wanted to be. And he actually bought me a light before I went onto YouTube, where he was the only one that I told. I haven't told anybody else in my life, mostly because of how people my parents would take that. My mom's an accountant and super into finances, and the judgment would have been too real and not in a helpful or constructive way. I have since found out that she's found my channel, and she could be watching, so who knows? She knows now. So, I guess she knows, but I didn't tell her.
Whoa.
I do think, though, that I was a little embarrassed at first to tell people because it's I have this problem that maybe people never expected. Or maybe they did. I don't know. But there's still that embarrassment of yourself. That I got to the point where it was necessary. Which doesn't feel good.
I feel like that, I could respond to that, but I'm not going to because we need to continue. We're too ambitious today with what we wanted to talk about, I think.
Yeah. But I feel like we're staying... Right?
Yeah. And we're staying within the time limit, so that's what matters.
Number 5, how do you like to structure your no-buy? What's most effective for you?
Well, I think this applies more if you have, specific categories that you go on no-buys or low-buys for, but because I'm not... I just have, a general no-buy. I don't know if there's, actually a structure. It's just, don't buy makeup. Yeah, that's all.
I think a lot of people, though, have a lot of caveats, replacements only.
Right.
Or...
See, I've never got to that point. I haven't needed to buy replacements, which is, kind of scary, but I just haven't because I've had so much. And also, I don't really care that much about expiration dates. So, if I should be replacing something, I just choose not to, whether or not that's a good thing.
Okay, I see that. I was actually gonna say, oh, what about mascara? But you have an extensive mascara collection.
Yeah.
For me, the structure, what I think is ideal has changed over time. Getting into it, I felt like I needed rules, like really strict rules to follow, that I can only either spend this amount of money or no money or replacements only, and even what qualified as a replacement, I wanted to get down in some way, because just because you finish a $50 eyelash serum doesn't mean that you get to replace it.
Right.
Even if it's technically a replacement.
Right.
Now, I don't really feel like the rules are super helpful, but also there's a lot of experience that has happened in the last 2 years, and I really like to just think about what is the essence of the project, like what is the essence of what I'm trying to do, what's the spirit of the project, and if the item conforms to that or not. So I don't think rigid rules are super... I'm talking to a camera that's not on.
Okay. Number 6.
Yes, number 6. What products have been the easiest and or the hardest for you to buy? Or not buy.
I feel like eyeshadow palettes are like the most tempting to me. I don't know if it's been like the hardest for me to not buy, but I just feel like eyeshadow palettes are like the most exciting. You know, they're the most like, that's where you can have sparkles in all different shades, and you're not gonna have like an exciting... I mean, highlighters are exciting, but like in terms of the color spectrum, I feel like eyeshadows are always the most exciting. So yeah, I'm just gonna say eyeshadows, even if that's not the truth. I think they're the most like fun and tempting to me.
Okay, I agree with the eyeshadows, but for me as well, blush. I almost can't control myself sometimes. But it's once I think things through, it's like, okay, it's like I can talk myself out of it, because it's like, do you really need another blush? Doesn't even matter the formula. But also, and I think you and I have talked about this too, which clothes have always been harder for me than makeup. I know we're talking about makeup no buys, but clothes have always... I can rein in the makeup,
but not the clothes. I feel like we've both been on a very like fashion phase vibe lately. Yeah. Okay. Next question.
What do you think that you did really well in your no buy that you'd recommend others doing, or just a more like a recommendation?
Some of these things I feel like I have talked about on my channel before, but like not exposing myself to the possibility of buying makeup. So Shoppers, I feel like, was the main place that I would buy like drugstore makeup at least, and by not even going to the makeup section, that just completely removed the possibility of me buying anything. I go to Shoppers fairly often, and whenever I went to the drugstore before, I would always check the makeup section every single time without fail. That was like, you know, the fun thing to do. And now I just don't do that. I never let myself check it.
Nipping in with the bud before it actually happens.
Yeah.
I think, at least for me, the best part, this is about me, what I think I did really well that I would suggest other people do is get really serious, not serious, but I'll say serious about just like learning about yourself. I think in my no buy I really developed or strengthened like my self-reflexive, self-thinking, kind of critical thinking skills of the self, and I was always just asking questions and always just self-reflecting. And I think that almost anybody is capable of doing that and getting good at it and having that be part of their life. But I just think that so many of us are just out of practice in doing that. And when we do it, we learn so much about ourselves. And I think for me, I was really interested in learning about myself, as well as, of course, changing my behavior. But I was really interested in learning about myself. Mm-hmm. And I'm so glad that I did that, because that has just spurred other projects. And then once you learn one thing, then for me, it was always like, oh, why? Like, why is this thing? Like, what else is this related to? And it just uncovered so much.
Nice end. Nice end. Okay, next question.
Did you learn anything about yourself on your no buy that surprised you?
In terms of makeup, like, I learned so much about my makeup preferences that was just not even on my radar before. Like, which colors look good on me, which colors don't look good on me. And I don't think I would have come to those conclusions if not for my no-buy, honestly, if not for like actually spending time with the makeup I had and figuring out what it was that I liked and I didn't like, rather than just constantly going out and buying stuff because it was popular or on sale or whatever. I really thank my no-buy for that.
Oh, I super ditto that. Because I
like, start the timer.
I own so much makeup that I had no idea how I felt about it.
Yeah.
Because I just was buying and buying and buying. And then I would own like 4 tinted moisturizers, but I had never tried one, and then bought 3 more.
Yeah.
And then how do I feel about this? And so I was really surprised at how much I owned that I had never tried. And I didn't realize fully how much I had bought just to buy things. But also, I really surprised myself with what I actually liked in terms of formula-wise. Number 10, what was the hardest part about your no-buy?
I think, well, like in terms of a specific moment, I think it was like June of 2021. I was running out of all of my favorite products, or I had just finished all my favorite products. And so I was like sad because I was using a lot of makeup that I didn't really like anymore, or that it was like too heavy coverage or too matte, or just like not what my preferences were anymore because I had them for so long. And that was when I was like, ugh, why am I on this no-buy? Like, yes, I have products that I need to get through, but I wish I just had like other options, or I could go out and buy new stuff. I did have that moment, but weirdly when I got to the end of the year, which was when I like designated myself to have finished the no-buy, I was like, oh, I think I can continue actually. But that one moment, or like that 1 month or whatever it was, that was tough.
I feel that. I think it's the beginning of the year is the easiest. And then the end of the year is also easier as well because you see the end. But then once you're in that, I don't know, let's say months 6 through 9, you're like, I'm so far into it, but I'm also so far away from the finish line that I don't.
Yeah.
Like,
now that you say that, that makes a lot of sense.
It's just this abyss. But then also, I think for me, I had a hard time with my habits. And even now, like, they're not perfect. I was just talking about stress buying stuff. And I think for me, that's the hardest habit for me to control. It's not so much that I am lusting after something. It's just like shopping or like emotional spending or stress spending that is just like prompted by other things that I really noticed in 2020. And it lingers a little bit. I guess, well, conversely, what was the best part?
Honestly, I think YouTube has been the best part. I don't know if that makes sense, but like the fact that, because I wouldn't have, been making YouTube videos if not for going on this like conscious consumerism journey. So the fact that I have this channel and I feel like I have this community and I've like made friendships and I am like more in touch with my makeup style, like all of that is directly because I stopped buying makeup. And so yeah, I guess all of those things are the best parts. Like I'm so glad that it translated to not just makeup, like it affected all other aspects of my life.
What a perfect answer. I don't think you can top that. I totally agree. I'm just going to steal your answer a little bit. The community has just been so amazing, and the learning about myself. I think if I were to do this offline, I don't know that I would have had the opportunity or the impetus really to be as critical or as learning oriented as I wanted to be. Mm-hmm. And then you get to meet people and you get to talk about this part of your life that people are also struggling with, which is so rewarding.
People who get it.
Yeah. And people who are struggling, but not in a judgmental way, but like I'm in the trenches with you. And then also finishing. Yeah. It's like, holy shit, I did it. Like, I actually did it. And I like that sense of accomplishment.
Good stuff.
Number 12, would you recommend a no-buy to other people? And if so, under what circumstances?
Yeah. I'm sure there's circumstances where I wouldn't recommend it. Like, I guess it does have to be, like, at the right point in your life. Otherwise, you're not gonna stick to it. But, like, I don't see how a no-buy could be bad for anyone. Like, could negatively affect someone. I feel like it's just benefits. There's no downsides.
I mostly agree with that.
Okay.
I think that there are a lot of people who come to no buys and fail, and then that really taints their perceived ability, or how they perceive their own ability to do one in the future or to stick with them. And I think people can just get really in their head about it and just feel really negative and bad about themselves because they failed maybe once or twice or 3 times. And so I do think that quitting your shopping habits cold turkey is not a good idea for everybody, which is not saying that a no buy is bad. I just think that the way that you would have to approach it initially would be different. Things that people need to ease their way in. Number 13. Did you ever break your no buy? Were you honest about your experience?
I feel like, okay, I didn't break it. I wasn't dishonest that I can think of, but like the fact that I do still acquire new makeup because other people declutter it to me or I get it on buns, like I don't know how to categorize that, because you decluttered a lot of makeup to me this year. And it's obviously not the same as buying makeup, but I'm still bringing stuff into my collection. So I'm like, am I breaking, even if it was like a low buy that I was calling it, like I don't know if I'm still considered being on a low buy because of how much stuff I brought into my collection. So I don't think I'm dishonest about that, but I just don't know if I can even call myself like on a no buy or low buy.
Does it, like, just to you and your standards, does it feel like a little weird, or is it just more like I'm okay with how I'm consuming and I don't have a category to describe it?
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Okay, that's fair.
How about you?
I think I was more dishonest with myself than other people. I think I tried to convince myself at the time that buying whatever it was okay. Like at least to me now, the infamous birthday purchase of 2020, when I convinced myself that it wasn't breaking my no buy to buy myself a birthday gift of those lip jellies, the Kosas lip oils. Mm-hmm. I convinced myself that like that wasn't breaking my no buy when yeah, it was. And then I also did acquire makeup using PC points. And then like 2 of them at the time I hid them, which I have like since come clean about because I felt weird about the shade range. And I'm like, okay, I won't ever show it on the channel. It's fine. But then every time I did a makeup inventory, I like pretended they didn't exist.
Right.
And then it was like, oh, I've created a slippery slope here. And like, that's not okay. Okay, I'm interested for this particularly with you. What was it like to get off your no buy?
I don't know if I'm off of it. Like, I don't know where I am in that regard. Because I think in my mind, I thought that it would be like a before and after kind of thing and a very strict like end date, and then I would buy makeup again. But that never happened. What happened instead was that I slowly brought things in that I, in a much more curated way than I had before. I got things on buns, or I allowed people to declutter them to me. It wasn't like a clear end date and then things continue. It was just sort of like, oh, I think I'm going to continue doing things the way that I have been while I was on my no buy anyways.
Okay, so for me, getting off my no buy was a little tricky, which is a little bit like you, because I didn't have any plan for getting off my no buy or any way to transition out of it. So I just felt really weird because I had no plan. And then I wanted to take what I learned from my no buy and transition it out of my no buy, but there was nothing in place for that. And then I do think that at the end of my no buy, I just was like, oh yeah, I'm better, I'm cured, I'm fine now, like I'm just great, without actually thinking that, oh, if you don't do any work, then you will go back to consuming exactly like you were before, which happened kind of quickly, honestly. And I was able to catch it. So I feel like it was maybe not great for a hot minute. Then I was like, okay, no, we need to actually find an approach to take. And there, I guess, is no after the no buy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like it's not like before. It's like, because a lot of your mindset has shifted. Well, yeah, it's just like, it's not, you picture it like a before and after, and it's a bit more fluid than that, I think.
Yeah, you have to maintain those practices, otherwise they'll go away.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're on the same page. Second to last question, number 15. Have your thoughts on no buys changed since you started?
I don't know. I think before I saw it as a very like drastic thing to do, and like it for sure is, but now I see them as having like a little bit more flexibility. But as you were saying before, like I do think I saw it as like a cure-all kind of thing, and how, you know, like anyone should be able to go on a no-buy, and I think you've brought like a bit more nuance to that with your discussions around no-buys and low-buys, because it's not that simple. And I have people commenting on my channel all the time saying like, I've tried to go on no-buys before and like it's always failed, and it's because like you're not, usually there's like a deeper thing going on there that you're not diving into.
I do agree with what you said a lot. And for me, what I think has changed is just, I thought that a no-buy was you just stop buying stuff, that's it. But it is way more nuanced than that. And for me, no-buys are like all about habits, which I really had no idea about or even thought of in that way in 2020. It wasn't until after I was done my no-buy that I began to even think about habits and the actual how do you do something, and creating a process and creating something that's attainable, opposed to just what I saw around me. Okay.
We're at the last question.
We're doing pretty well.
We really are.
Okay, so 16. Do you feel like you went on a no-buy at the right time in your life?
Oof. Okay, yes and no. I actually think I could have used a no-buy or even a low-buy, or just like a more healthy approach to makeup like way before. High school and undergrad was when I was buying a lot of makeup, and I wish I had more. Honestly, I wish that people were posting about conscious consumerism back then, because it was just not on my radar at all. So I think it would have been even better if I had done a no-buy before, but I'm glad that I did it when I did. Could have been better timing, but it also could have been worse.
I was thinking the same thing, because there was a point where, well, I guess right before I went, my makeup consuming was as bad as it maybe like ever got. Did hit a peak. However, it was like that for a while. And I was just so excited about just buying stuff. It would have been great to be where I am sooner. However, I was not willing to investigate the behavior. Like, I wasn't willing to challenge the behavior at that time. I wanted to have the bad habit. Even if I knew it was bad, I was perfectly happy participating in it. So it's like, sure, it could have been better, but I don't think I would have, if I saw this content, I don't think I would have clicked on it and been like, oh, wow, this is for me, let me change. You have to be at least open.
Receptive to it, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's great.
We did it.
We covered so much. Honestly, we probably should have chosen half the questions and given them a bit more time, but we were ambitious.
Yeah, which is... Is an adventure over here, man.
Always an adventure when I'm filming.
But I am... Okay.
Cut off.
I am happy that we did tackle a lot of these.
Yeah.
And to hear, I like being able to do this in real time with you.
Yeah. But a lot of those things that you said, I like wanted to respond to. I was like, oh, that's a better answer. Like, I should have answered it that way. But, you know, at least we made it through the video.
No, okay, you need to give me some more credit. Because I was able to think, every time you said something, I was like, oh yeah, me too.
Apologies if we've been cut off a couple times today, but hopefully you enjoyed the video anyways.
Thank you for watching and hanging out with us today. You need to go check out Lara's channel next, because we have another fun collab video happening over there. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but also if you think about the kind of content that we do, maybe you can guess. It's still fun, I promise.
If you like this video, you'll like that one as well.
Totally.
Yeah, I think that's it. We've been blabbering on for long enough. Thank you so much for watching.
And hope to see you again around here soon.
Bye.
Oh, that was good.
Nice.